Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Hairsa, also known as the Hairsa Way. Thinking of doing favorite shades from each palette, so I was like, that's a great idea. Why don't we do one favorite matte and one favorite shimmer for each of these palettes that we're gonna mention? So that's what we're doing today. I'm very excited because we are talking about 10 palettes. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. The first one is Lore from Blend Bunny. My favorite matte from this palette was actually very easy to pick. It's this one right here, the Deep.
Real eyes, realize, realize.
Which is the deepest blue in its row, but it is a blue, definitely a blue, but with some like indigo tendencies in it because it definitely leans a little bit purple, very slightly. Again, it's not definitely not a blurple or an indigo, but there is some like slight purple undertones here. My favorite shimmer in this palette, it was a battle between two. Pearl, this one right here, it's a multichrome, I believe. It's so pretty, delicate, and shifty. Very sparkly too. This, by the way, this formula, the shimmer formula in this palette is definitely one of the more improved shimmer formulas from Blend Bunny compared to like their earlier releases. This has been out, I want to say, for like a good 2.5, maybe 3 years. Not so sure on the timing. I cannot remember. The other shimmer is Bioluminescent, which is the blue one. Are we shocked? Probably not. But they're both beautiful. Again, all of these shimmers are beautiful. But if I had to pick, this is so tough. I guess I have to go with Bioluminescent because it's such a pretty blue. Again, pretty sparkly. It pairs beautifully with the mattes, but it also goes very well by itself. I have worn it actually as a one and done and I really, really enjoyed it. So I guess I'll go with Bioluminescent, but I do love Pearl as well. The thing I love about Bioluminescent is that it's not necessarily a light blue. It's definitely more mid-toned. It's almost like a denim-y blue, but turned up a notch when it comes to vividness because I enjoy it very much. It's so pretty. Next up, we have an Unearthly palette. This is Just a Taste. I am so in love with this cover. This cover particularly reminds me of my toxic Vampire King, Lestat. I'm so excited for season 3 of Interview with a Vampire, but let's talk about the palette. This palette is absolutely gorgeous, definitely a more muted color story. Now, when it comes to the mattes, I was in between two, but one was a clear winner. So my winner is Forbidden Embrace, this one right here, which is such a beautiful, cool tone nude. I definitely don't want to call this a mauve because it leans a bit more taupey than an actual like rosy mauve, but it is gorgeous. I love this shade. I always create like very sultry neutral looks with these kind of shades. But my other favorite one, I have to, just a quick shout out to my second favorite, Bite Me. This is such a like vivid red. Okay, I loved it. I actually wore it on a look to go see Sinners. We love vampire media over here. For my favorite shimmer, it is gonna be a shocking choice. It's because it's a light shimmer. I have to go with Haunted Heart. Something about it. This is like a baby peach filled with blue shimmer. Such a good shadow. One of the shadows that when this palette was revealed, I was like, oh, it's gorgeous. I gotta have this one. I would definitely call it a spicy neutral, but it's so freaking beautiful. All the shimmers in this palette are, but Haunted Heart, there's something so special about it. Definitely not a Hairsa choice, but it is my favorite. Third palette is Plastic from Blend Bunny. I received this in PR. Oh, now this palette, okay, so for the matte, very easy, clear winner. I have to go with Rumor Has It right here, which when I first looked at it, when I opened the palette, I thought it was a brown, okay? But when I applied it on the eyes, I was very quickly shocked to find that this is actually a berry, okay? This is a berry shade. I know it looks brown, it's crazy, but on the eyes, it just transforms to a berry shade. It's so pretty. It is definitely my favorite. Although I have quite a few other favorites in this palette, Rumor Has It is my number one. Now for shimmers, it's not as easy because I have 3 particular favorite shimmers in this palette. First one being Shallow right here, which is this very pretty minty shimmer. Then we have Cloud Chasin', which is the vampier deeper shimmer. Then Gossip, which is a very shifty pink between a gold and a pink. I love all 3, so probably depending on the day that you catch me, my answer will be between these 3. But of course, I have to pick just one, okay? And my favorite one has to be Gossip, the pink. Oh, there's something so pretty about it. I definitely, again, would consider it more of a spicy neutral because while it is pink, it also has like very strong shifts of gold. But it's so intense, you guys. It's so freaking pretty. So yeah, I had to go with Gossip. I've worn it all over the lid, like, layered pretty opaquely and also dispersed. Gorgeous both times, okay? It's very intense and very sparkly, so yeah, she's my favorite. Jumping back to another Unearthly palette, this is the Gargoyle palette, and oh, this color story is absolutely gorgeous. Now, the choices here are gonna be very predictable, okay? My favorite matte has to be Midnight. There's something so unique about this blue because although it's pretty vivid, it's not necessarily a cobalt blue. This kind, I don't know how to describe this tone of blue, but the only other blue that I've seen with this particular tone is from an Arimi palette, the Blue Twilight palette. So gorgeous. Now, I do have to give a quick shout out to another matte shadow in here, Veil. Such a good muted powder blue. It's perfect. I've been using it very often recently. Now, for my favorite shimmer, look no further than right next to Midnight. Night Watcher right here. It's so pretty. There's something... So again, almost like a denim-y blue. There's definitely like hints of purple there, and it's filled with multicolorful sparkles, specifically like pink and blue. So pretty. Again, it's a deeper shimmer, so you guys know I love what I love, but yeah, those are my two favorite shadows. Next up, we have another Blend Bunny palette. This is Beauty Below. I've received her NPR as well. Y'all know this is one of my favorite palettes of all time. I made some hard choices here. I'm gonna walk you through all of my choices. This sucked really badly. Okay, let's talk about mattes first. Let's get the easier out of the two choices out of the way. There was two mattes that I was debating between. Siren Streak and Abyss. I talked about Siren Streak actually because I've hit pan on it, and this is the shadow that I mentioned on my, makeup I've hit pan on video. And okay, while I love me a deep blue, okay, I do. I'm a sucker for a deep colors in general, but a deep blue I always will love. I'm gonna go with Siren Streak. It's, I don't know how to describe it. It's a hot pink, but with berry tendencies, but it's very vivid. Like what you see on the pan is exactly what you get on the eyes. It's so pigmented, you don't even gotta dip twice. Like that's how intense and vivid it is as a shadow. So for that, I find it very unique because again, it's a pink, not necessarily very light. It's something in between. Again, very unique. I love how it's placed in this, very sultry and deeper color story. So I have to go with Siren Streak. Now for shimmers, this was bad. I have to admit, this hurt a little bit because all the shimmers here are gorgeous, but there's four that I was debating in between. First one, Irresistible, this aqua teal right here. Lowland Slay, the like purpley mauve shade right here. Then the two blues, Immerse right here and Pulled Under right here. This was rough, okay? Because God, I hate picking. I'm still like debating between two. So after quite a little bit of elimination, I'm still stuck in between Irresistible and Pulled Under. I guess I'll go with Pulled Under because again, a deep blue, I am a sucker for it, but I love all the other three shades, especially Irresistible. I would say that that's my second favorite. So good. You guys know this is one of my favorite palettes of all time, not even from this year, of all time. So of course the choices here were going to be hard. Next palette is Escape Pod from Kaleidos, and this is what it looks like. This palette has been around for quite a few years now. Although I love quite a few of these tones, my favorite matte has to be Soiree right here, the one that looks like an escape button. It's so pretty. It's a mid-tone lilac, so very pigmented, very buttery, very easy to use. One swipe and it's all it takes. So gorgeous. Now for my favorite shimmer, time to shock you guys again. I have to go with Starlight Sonata, the one right underneath. This is such a good peachy, champagne, pearly kind of shimmer. It's pretty sparkly even for the older Kaleidos shimmer formula, because I feel like their shimmer formula has changed quite a little bit in their newer quads. Their newer quads have a lot more intense shimmer. This one, however, is gorgeous. I was shocked when I applied it to my eyes for the very first time because not only is it very sparkly, it has pink and green sparkles. And they just, like you move your head and those sparkles and shimmers just dance in your eyes. It's such a beautiful, delicate, but impactful shadow. So yes, it is my favorite. I know it's not particularly something that you would think like, oh wow, hairstyle wouldn't pick this. Yeah, no, it's my favorite. Next up, I'm going to talk about a Bella Beaute bar palette. This is recently Deinfluenced, and this was very easy, okay? I had to give myself some easier choices, all right? My favorite matte from this palette is Feud, which is this sunshine yellow right here. Now, I know that it doesn't look like it when you look at the palette. it looks like more of a darker, more muted yellow. Oh no, this is very intense on the eye, okay? This is super, super intense, and it's not an easy kind of shadow to find in palettes. So for that reason alone, and also again, the vividness of it all is just, it makes it my favorite matte. But I do love all of these mattes. They're really, really nice. I do like the Bella Beaute Bar matte formula. Now for my favorite shimmer, very predictable screenshot right here. It's a deep, shifty green to purple. What's there not to love? Of course it's gonna be my favorite. What you guys are looking at is the purple shift. I'm looking at the green. I don't see the purple at all. So yeah, that one is my favorite. But again, this palette has quite a few just stunning shimmers. I know a lot of people love Digital Zombie. While that's pretty, I have to go for a deep shimmer. Gotta come back to my roots somehow. The next palette is one I've talked about quite a little bit this year on my channel. This is Fleeting Life from Cheeryep x Freya. And actually on this palette, it was harder to pick my favorite matte rather than shimmer. So for mattes, I debated between this pastel gray right here and the matte black shadow. Listen, the matte black shadow in this palette is very, very, very intense, okay? There's matte black and then there's matte black. This is like definitely on the more pigmented side. To be fair, I have quite a few very intense pigmented matte black shadows in my collection. So for that reason, I'm gonna go with the pastel gray because I really enjoy using this shadow. I actually have a big dip on it and I'm very surprised that I haven't hit pan on it yet. It's gorgeous. I love to use it on the crease and all over the lid. And now for my favorite shimmer, very easy. I'm gonna go with this Periwinkle right here because it's definitely the more colorful option in the whole entire palette when it comes to shimmers. And it has beautiful like multi-colorful sparkles in it. And yeah, I love the tone. It's such a nice, unique tone. So yeah, those are my favorite shadows from this. Next up, we have Poppy Quiet from Titanium Foxes. Ooh, okay. So for my favorite matte on here, I had to go with Contemplation, which is this shade right here. This took me by surprise when I first used it. It's such a beautiful, very rosy pink mauve. This is a mauve. I love it so much. I do really enjoy Newborn Poppy, which is the other pink in the palette, but it's definitely more warm tone. But my favorite is definitely Contemplation. I do love quite a few of these mattes, but again, we're sticking with just one. Now for shimmers, this is where it got tough. Obviously, the iridescents steal the show. They're very, very intense in this palette. And while I love all three, I had to go with Poppy Cry between the iridescents, okay? There's something so glowy and shifty about it. It's so beautiful. Now there's another shimmer in this palette that I love very much, and that's Jewel Beetle, the one right next to Poppy Cry. It's such a good green. There's some purpliness to it, but not really, like it's kind of in the, I don't know how to explain it. It's so, so unique. If you have this palette, definitely use Jewel Beetle like as a liner. It's so, so good. It just elevates the look, okay? So I was debating between these two, okay? I feel like Jewel Beetle is so underrated, but I guess between the two, I'll pick Poppy Cry, the iridescent. I know it's a shocker that I'm not picking the dark shimmer, but trust, I almost did. Poppy Cry is really pretty. It layers on top of mattes so well. It almost becomes one with them, you know, and it shifts and it glows. It's beautiful as a highlighter as well. So that is my favorite, but trust, it hurt not picking Jewel Beetle as well because it's so pretty. Alrighty, and my last and 10th palette is All Done Up from Blend Bunny. The reason why I picked All Done Up is because I've talked about it quite a few times on my channel. The tones picked for it are so unique for a neutral palette. I know I keep saying this every time I talk about this palette, but it's a fact worth mentioning, I think, because while there's, God knows, there's plenty of neutral palettes out there in the market, right? Something about the tones in this one is very unique, and I love that about it, and I love how compact and tiny this color story is, okay? Now, for my favorite matte, although I love the deeper, you know, mattes and this mid-tone sagey green and the mustard, I have to go for this pukey, poopy, muddy brown right here called Transform. Now, I know the way I described it sounds disgusting, but that's what makes it unique. Those like muddy, you know, pukey green undertones that it has make it so unique. As a brown, I have nothing like this in my collection, whether palettes or singles. I've used it quite a little bit and I love it every time because it's so unique on the eyes too. Again, it's not the first shadow that catches your eye when you open this palette. Definitely not one that you would notice, but I think it's one of the most, actually the most unique one. I love it so much. Again, a very unusual choice, but I love it. For the shimmers, I've talked about the shimmers in this palette before, that I think this is when the Blend Bunny shimmer formula started becoming better and better. This was definitely a step up from their older releases, and I love these shimmers. Again, this is such a perfect like neutral lover palette, and these shimmers go very well with the rows that they're placed in. I am in between two shimmers. I've picked my favorite, but I gotta talk about two. First one being Wink, which I actually used very often with Transform. They go so well together, okay? This pink right here with this, again, muddy brown, so good. I love Wink, but my favorite has to be Shine, which is kind of like this green iridescent is what I would call it. It's very thin in texture and it layers beautifully on top of mattes. Tone of it is definitely more muted than other green iridescents that I have, but I love that. I do enjoy muted tones too in iridescent. So yeah, I have to go with this one because it layers beautifully and it wears beautifully on the eye. But yeah, again, I do love all these shimmers. Also, this look is my first look that I did with the Ellis Atlantis x Blend Bunny Volume 2 collection. I actually mentioned it on my other video and linked the post down below, so I'll link the tutorial because I did post it today. And these are my choices, you guys. Do let me know if anything shocked you. I'm very curious to hear it all in the comments. Do let me know your favorite matte and shimmers from palettes that you have. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!